Welcome to the Backyard Professor Responds videos. I just had an excellent recording session with Danny Sheehan earlier today. Hopefully I can put it as a premiere for Sunday night. If I don't figure out how to do that, I've got some other options. I can just put it up as a video, but it was a very good interview. I'm very, very happy with it. Man, he just uncorked. He just went on and on with so many amazing insights. The man is a national treasure. I'm very excited to share that with you. In the meantime, I have been going through the telepathy tapes, and these are intriguing. I actually did ask Danny to discuss the idea of why are the UFOs associated with spirituality of all things? Why isn't it science? I mean, these are flying saucers, for Pete's sake. What's this idea of bringing in spirituality and religion, etc.? And how do you handle that? And he gave a superb answer. I can't wait to see how you guys react to that. Very interesting stuff. These telepathy tapes kind of open up this dimension, and I haven't gotten all the way through them yet. I've been through the first three, I believe. And this is the next frontier of science. Crazily enough, if we would have just not labeled it as woo-woo and went ahead and left it on the table and explored it and gave it some legitimate tests, we could have been much further along. On the other hand, it appears to me that over the course of the last 25, 30 years, and I haven't done any kind of a poll or any kind of research, so this is just me speculating at this point, but it appears to me like autistic, non-speaking children are being born in bigger numbers. Now, it shocked me that there are tens of thousands of children that have this issue with autism. That, I mean, there are some, I guess what they label functional autism as opposed to non-functional autism in kids. And there's some light and then some really heavy. Some of the autism affects their abilities to interact socially. Some of their autism affects their abilities to speak. In these first three or so, and I haven't heard the whole series yet, this is about the non-speaking children who just can't speak. And yet the claim is that these kids can hear, know, and see the thoughts of their mother. And the moms are just wanting to find, once they discover this about the children, you know, taking them to various experts, and the experts say, nope, your kid will never lead a normal life. They're basically crippled and there's no hope for them, etc. Well, the moms who are fortunate to discover that the non-speaking children with the autism can communicate with them. And what they do is they are telepathically reading their mother's minds. And once the mom recognizes that they can communicate with these children, it completely transforms their lives. And they want to know, what is this? What's happening here? What's going on? And so this psychiatrist, this sociologist, psychologist, I say psychiatrist, I meant psychologist, working with these kids, testing them and trying to find out, you know, to what extent, how is this working, etc. It is quite dramatic. It is really intriguing. Now, my supposition to this is the UFO beings communicate with whom they make contact with, also telepathically. There are many descriptions of people who say, well, I didn't see the alien's mouth move, and yet I saw either pictures in my mind that they were putting in my mind, or I heard a voice. They communicated with me through their minds. And is this a higher level of communication? Astonishingly enough, the kids, the nonverbal speaking kids, communicate with their friends telepathically. But they mean tens of thousands of their friends. Apparently, there is a place that these kids go mentally, and they are all communicating with each other as a group. Just staggers your mind. Now, this is something new. I would think science would want to jump on this, and instead, the narrow-mindedness of a proper definition of science appears to be more important than actually investigating the phenomenon, and they simply write it off in abject ignorance. Well, that's not the true scientific spirit. I oppose that with everything I've got. I absolutely agree with Gary Nolan. Science proper keeps things on the table. You don't say, oh, that's a UFO. Pfft, that's not science. We don't want to know about it. And yet that's how it works. And this works with the sciences. This works with the academia, etc. And it's wrong. So here is a quick couple of minute clip that I want to share that I thought was quite interesting in relation to this issue that she is talking about. This is the Telepathy Tapes episode 2 that I want to share this just brief couple of moments with you and what she says.
Have either forgotten how to use or just simply can't access.
Have you ever asked him, does he see through your eyes, or does he just know what's in your mind?
It's just automatic. He gets it automatically at that time.
And to dig into this further, I came up with a new test on the spot, which ended up actually being one of my favorites. Akil is under his blanket, busy with his iPad.
All right, I'm just going to do something.
I took out my phone calculator. Akil will have to tell us the answer to the equation that we just typed into the calculator in real time. Okay, I'm going to type in the first equation. I type in 11031,597 times 4. I certainly don't know the answer to that. The answer that pops up is long.
Whoa, is that too long?
Yeah, it's fine.
As noted, we're sitting on the floor. Manisha is next to Akil, and I'm sitting in front of her, holding the calculator away from Akil and toward Michael's camera. So again, there's no way Akil can see this number. Akil picks up his speaking device off the ground and goes for it. The answer is 44,126,388.
4, 4, 1, 2, 6, 3, 8, 8.
That's what the number was. Akil, it's so unbelievable. I'm going to have your mom do it, so I'm out of the shot. Okay, so
I hand the calculator to Manisha. She keeps it turned away from Akil.
look at me for a second, Akil. You ready for another one?
Yeah.
Let's please multiply two numbers and see if he gets it.
Manisha types in 25 times 36, and as the answer pops up, she points to her head and says, the moment it comes here, and then she points to Akil and says, it goes there.
The moment it comes here, it goes there.
Can you see it already in your mom's head?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
The calculator is pointed totally away from Akil, right up in Michael's camera, and Akil is under his blanket and his speaking device is on the ground in front of him. By the way, 25 times 36 equals 900.
Okay, what is it?
9, 0, 0.
Unbelievable.
We do multiple calculator tests with longer numbers, shorter numbers, and Akil is right every time. And the reality of what we're seeing, there really aren't words for it.
What is this phenomena happening? Why are his mind and my mind completely connected?
The desperation in Manisha's voice is now something that I've heard echoed over and over again over the course of 4 years. Can someone please just explain this? And it's hard for scientists to get research funded in this realm because, as we talked about in episode 1, much of our scientific paradigm is materialism, which more or less says the only things that can be real are things that can be observed and measured. So scientists who earnestly want to research and look into ESP and telepathy have historically not been given much respect and certainly not money. And Dr. Diane Hennessy Powell has been trying, but there needs to be a ton of research looking into this.
Very impressive. And this was after they had spent the afternoon testing this young little child. And they were just sitting there talking, kind of wrapping the day up. And that idea popped into her head. Oh, hey, real time. Why don't I just type in this calculation? And he just rattled it right off once his mom saw the screen that he didn't. So the thing that strikes me is the approach, and this began, Rene Descartes is one of the culprits, and Roger Bacon and all those guys. If it's not physical, it's not real. We now know that that can't possibly be the ultimate reality in any manner, because we can think a thought, but you can't see it, hear it, smell it, feel it, taste it, touch it, and yet that thought is real. So, this whole seems to me like science is going to get a revamping, and the sooner the better. This is not to disparage science. It is to expand it out into the more all-inclusive realms where they arbitrarily shut off something that they would label as subjective. Science has to deal with the objective only. Subjective is biased. You can't do that. But the mere choosing of objective only is itself a subjective bias. And the scientists apparently don't recognize that. It's not obvious to them, but it is obvious. By eliminating the subjective, you're being subjective in favor of only the objective, when that is only a part of the total human experience. Arbitrarily, they cut off part of our experience. And the amazing thing about this is it is the more important part of our being human that science has cut off. So this UFO phenomenon appears to me to be bringing back this woo-woo, what they disparagingly label woo-woo, and it's unjustified because of their arbitrarily deciding only objective methods are science, which is a very subjective thing to do. So the irony is rich, and the prospects for an expansion of our consciousness, consciousness itself is still being argued. People keep saying Dan Dennett finally found the answer to consciousness as an atheist, and it's all just brain work. No. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of neuroscientists who say Dan Dennett is out to lunch. He certainly is not the final word on any of it. And so the argument keeps on unfolding. I don't know if we're moving forward or moving sideways. Who knows? Moving backwards. I don't even know if they're moving. What the UFO phenomenon potentially shows us is how stale our science has become, how limiting our science has become, and it needs a recharge. It needs a revamp, a re-evaluation, and in this regard, potentially, the UFO could be the best thing that's ever happened to us. As Leonore Leet says in her fantastic book, The Universal Kabbalah, what we have done with the cosmos is we have disenchanted it in the name of science, and what is called for is a re-enchanting of the cosmos, and I really like the way that sounds. That could be for an interesting situation. So thanks for watching my Backyard Professor Respawns videos. Telepathy tapes is on my mind right now. because of the phenomenal tie-in with the UFOs. The other speculation that is extremely astonishing is, are these children somehow tied in with some of the earlier abductions of humans where they claimed they were impregnated and then the fetus was removed? What is going on with the abduction themes? And that's always a disturbing part of the UFO phenomenon. I'll be the first to say so. So I have not looked into that as extensive as I ought to and can and will, but just one step at a time, and we keep trying to come to a better, more accurate understanding of not only them, but of ourselves. And there's the bonus. So I will catch up to you guys next time. Have a great day.